I'm Hayley Ann Solomon. Under the Shade of the Feijoa Tree is a winner of a Proverse International Supplementary Prize for an unpublished manuscript in English. I'm rather fond of this collection because it is such a diverse spectrum of ideas, moods, styles and tales. They range from the wildly improbable but fun to the seriously philosophical and actually autobiographical. They are written in both the first person and the third person as histories and as futures to come. My challenge is to make the reader wonder, is this one of the autobiographies or one of the fictions? I dare and challenge you to work this out. The common thread throughout this work is emotional resonance, whether speaking from the voice of a child or a grown-up, a jaded man or a wickedly amusing witch, a mother, a thief, a person on the verge of stepping into hell. I want you, the reader, to feel things with me, the joy, self-disappointment, pleasure of revenge, tingle of success, the mischievous, hilarity, pleasure in simple things and happy memories, the queasiness of accountability, the sadness of retrospect, histories written that can't be changed, the trajectory of a single act and its impact, nostalgia, kindness, hope and pleasure. There is slapstick. I'm kicked by an outraged pony. I step back into a water trough, dripping eggs and albumin. Yes, that's autobiographical. There is tragedy, pranks gone horribly wrong, fatally wrong, betrayal of values, conscience and friendships. There is no redemption for this, only eternal regret. Hilarity. Meet my kuni pegs, Rumpel and Ruschel, and their firm disgust of vets and ring noses. Or my rooster Rat-a-tat and her perpetual stealing of toast and creating utmost havoc in the process. There's philosophy. Meet Marama and Let Them Eat Cake. And the coolest pirate who finds my message in the bottle note, a child's odyssey to self-respect. It occurs to me that perhaps I should read to you from my foreword. It explains all this perhaps better than I'm doing now. By the way, take note of the cover art and see if we can spot the themes of the stories hidden in the leaves. A galleon, a violin, a silhouette. Can you see them? So this is the foreword from Under the Shade of the Feijoa Trees by Hayley Ann Solomon. This collection of literary stories is as chaotic and as eclectic as my synapses, as passionate and as disparate as my analytical impulses. These seemed tethered to the rhythms of my heart and to the thoughts that bubble from me like an uncontrollable inner spring. How does one create order from disorder, harmony from the higgledy? It seems to be the constant conundrum of my life. I'm at once enchantress, philosopher, crazy lady with bright smile, and author with substantive issues to explore. On the one hand, I'm a firm believer in the discipline and rigidity of certain art forms. On the other, I'm a mistress of thumbing my nose at the expected, of laughing at preconceptions, of unexpectedly changing course. Thus, I'm bound and unbound, wound and unwinding. My writing reflects my antithetical nature through its discourse. I seem to be a veritable Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to the spinning of a tale. I write light-hearted romance because they uplift the spirit. I temper this with dark psychological dramas that do the reverse, but provoke thought. I write from both male and female perspective, frolic between autobiography, fictional memoirs, contemporary, historical, tongue-in-cheek, and the deeply profound. I need a box with a lid, but I'm afraid I would simply pop up and pop out. My literary short stories consist of prose with only the veriest smidgen of poetry irrepressibly peeking through. My stories are all imbued with enchantment of one form or another, from wish fulfillment to witches, spellbinding poetic justice to supernatural incarnations of hell. I cover the surreal and I wave a wand over enigmatic pirates, dazzling dukes, hidden histories, and the murder of self-respect. They are enchantments of closure and migration, the mysteries of epiphanal moments, the invocations of love, the ubiquitous magic of messages in a bottle, jostling with plots and potions. Though I work with suspension of disbelief, I also fiercely protect emotional and philosophical integrity. I find there is extraordinary power in cadence, rhythm, succinct expression, subtle sound play, wit, and distilled passion. I'm a great fan of assonance, echoes, subtle alliteration, and consonance. All seem to be the hallmarks of writing with literary rather than plot-driven intent, and I embrace them. In the end, the greatest mirror of magic to be found is under the shade of the Feijoa trees, that umbrella of shelter, inextricably intertwined with family, home, chaotic hilarity, and the peace we forge for ourselves. My son once said the very smell of Feijoas is transcendent, redolent of his childhood and the happy simplicity of just belonging. Family and friendship. How beautiful are those branches, and how tangled the boughs. As a nod to that magic, I entitle the whole of this collective work, Under the Shade of the Feijoa Trees. For those of you who have not come across feijoas, they are beautiful, fragrant oval fruit, a bit like guavas, that grow abundantly in New Zealand on huge leaf-filled trees that are great for climbing, hiding, finding shade, and resting. My young family thrived under their collective umbrella. I invite you to share in the symbolic resonance. Whether your shade be oak, feijoa, or cherry blossom, I hope these tales find a home in your heart.